Good morning. It is Monday, June 15th, already in the middle of June. It's going fast. Welcome to Red Pants Yoga. We're going to do 60 minutes of Bikram yoga, 26 postures. We're just doing them one time each. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Let me adjust some lights over here and we'll get started. Okay, my name is Maria. I am teaching yoga from home while we shelter in place due to COVID-19. So thank you for letting me practice teaching with you. We have Bikram this morning and Wednesday morning, and we have Friday morning vinyasa coming. So let's start the week out right. Standing in Tadasana. This is the first pose of 26. We're going to start in mountain pose or Tadasana, standing in place, and we're going to do some deep breathing here just to kind of check in with our entire bodies, including the breath and all the little parts that help us get through the day, toes, fingers, all the little side body, hips, shoulders, things you might not always be thinking about. So standing in place, check down at your feet, make sure the toes are spread nice and wide, and rock a bit back and forth over your feet to kind of feel the shift in the way the weight is distributed. You want to ultimately land over your heels, so your hips are stacked up in a line over your heels. Shoulders stacked over hips, and give them like a roll up to the ears and then a slide down the back to really open up the shoulders, open up the chest. Pull the belly in nice and strong, and throughout this deep breathing exercise, we're going to keep a straight spine. So hands together in front of you, clasp hands and press the webbing between the fingers nice and tight together. Tuck it under your chin, and your knuckles stay pressed to your chin throughout this deep breathing exercise. Take a moment here and just kind of relax, settle down. Find a soft, steady gaze, something to focus on in front of you, and just keep that focus as we inhale and bring elbows up to the ceiling. Keep the knuckles against the chin. Elbows up, inhale. Exhale. Exhale and bring the elbows together in front of you, pointing to the front of the room. Inhale, elbows up. Exhale. Inhale, elbows up. Keep that nice, steady gaze. And when you exhale, keep your eyes open and just shift the gaze up to the ceiling. Elbows come in front of you. Give your butt a squeeze here to kind of say good morning to your booty. Tell it to turn on. It's got to work today. Exhale. Counts of 6, slow counts of 6 for each inhale and exhale. Inhale here. Feel yourself lift and come out of the waist on the inhale. Exhale. Open mouth. Push all the air out really aggressively. Just exhale all that air out. Inhale. We'll do 2 more rounds. So here's 2. Exhale. Let all that air out. This is not a back bend. Keep your spine straight, belly in. Here's the last one. Inhale, elbows up. And exhale. Change. Drop your hands to your side. Stand here in Tadasana. Just take a nice deep breath here. Really just try to calm and relax your body. May be very needed after yet another week of a lot of news with COVID-19 and social unrest and changes all over, uncertainties. Just calm your system here. Okay, let's inhale, arms overhead. And go ahead and take a side to side stretch. Warm up for half moon pose. This has 4 parts to it. We're gonna go side to side, so kind of warm up there. And we're also gonna go front to back, so slight back bend. And we're gonna do a front forward fold. So walk your legs out if you need to. Just get a feel for any areas that might be tight or that you need to pay extra attention to avoid any kind of injury or over stretching here. We'll meet back in the center at the top. Hands make a steeple grip. So clasp those fingers again. Release the index fingers. Point them up towards the ceiling. Biceps nice and strong, framing the face. You can maybe feel them against your ears. And belly pulled in so that you're not popping your belly out. Pull the belly in and keep the chest lifted. Inhale, find a lot of length out of the waist. Exhale, fold down to the right. Hips shoot to the left. So arms are going to the right. That left armpit opens up to keep the shoulders square to the front, hips square to the front, and then push those hips a bit out to the left. And you can bend one knee at a time and just kind of get an extra stretch there. Eventually keep those legs nice and strong. Side body stretch down the left side, left hips. Steady gaze straight forward, half moon pose to the right. I'm going to inhale and back off just a bit, and then exhale, fold a little deeper. And inhale and exhale. Find the deepest part of your stretch here now, and then change. Inhale it all the way up. Find that neutral position. Switch the grip of your hands so that the other one's on top, opposite grip here. Inhale, nice and neutral, high out of the waist. Exhale, fold to the left now. So fold down to the left. Think of opening that right armpit up kind of towards the ceiling to keep shoulders square. Hips push towards the right. And in doing that, it can feel good to kind of walk the knees out just a bit. And if it feels like a little too much, come back out a bit on an inhale to find more length. And then exhale and fold. Just breathe. Make your breath audible. Let yourself hear your breath and let your body go where your breath takes you. So that can mean on an inhale, you might want to come up a bit. Lift the chest. On an exhale, you fold. Hips shoot to the right, deepest part of the stretch here, and change. Inhale, come on up to neutral. Begin to lift the chin just a little, but keep the biceps strong by the ears. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, push the hips forward. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, push the hips forward. Now keep that lift in your spine. Lift up and out of the spine even as you bend back. If it's comfortable on your neck, you can let your head drop. Push those hips forward. Change. Inhale, come on up. On the exhale, come down into a forward fold. Keep the arms strong until you get about halfway down. If you have blocks like I do, I'm going to grab those and just rest my hands on those while I'm in this halfway point of my fold. If you want to keep your core strong and engaged, keep those hands overhead, biceps by the ears, and that really helps turn the core on as you push the booty back. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Rest your belly on your knees. Again, deep, loud breaths that you can hear, and they can guide you a bit. So you'll inhale and lift the hips towards the ceiling. Exhale, fold down and let gravity just pull your head and neck down. Shake the neck out. Shake the head to loosen the neck, and then nod the head to loosen the neck. And you can keep the hands resting on the block. You can relax the hands down on the floor in front of you, or take a bind by wrapping your hands behind the back of your leg. Hang on to your calves or your ankles and just let the head and neck hang as the hips lift towards the ceiling with every breath. Okay, let's change. Bring the arms up overhead, biceps frame the ears as you use core strength to lift yourself on up. Inhale here, exhale, drop the hands to your side. Take a little shoulder roll here, and then just find some stillness for one breath. And we'll move into awkward pose, Utkatasana. Inhale the arms up, step the feet about 6 inches apart. This is chair pose or awkward pose, 3 parts to it. So with feet apart, arms engaged, really feel those triceps turn on with your arms spread out here. Hands together, the blades of the fingers all together to make a blade. There's Betty, my cat, saying good morning. And then go ahead and sit back in your chair. Booty back, fingertips forward, opposite forces working against one another, and just peek down that you can see your toes. Your knees don't want to go past your toes. Give your toes a wiggle. That makes sure that your weight is in your heels. Stick that booty back, pull the belly in, lift the chest, sit back, arms stretch forward, change. Inhale, come all the way up onto tiptoes now. Like you are a ballerina, and if you are a ballerina, you should be a little more comfortable here than the rest of us. Open the front of the ankles. You can feel that stretch when you're high up on your toes like this. Stay right here with heels lifted as high as you can get them. Or if you want to work a little more on balance and strengthen the legs, go ahead and sit back again in the chair with heels lifted as high as possible. This is a wobbly one for me. When you start to wobble, remember, pull the belly in and keep the chest lifted. Sink down a bit more and then lift those heels again. The goal is to really be as high on the heels as possible. So if you fall out too much or your heels come down, go ahead and back off of the bend and just stay high on the toes. Okay, change. Drop the heels. Keep the arms lifted though. And then inhale, heels up about 1 inch. Bring the knees together. Zip up the space between your inner thighs. Pull those inner thighs together. Turns them on. It fires up those muscles and then slide back down like you're sliding down the back wall with a straight spine, lifted chest. Oh gosh, I'm a little wobbly. I'm gonna back out of it a bit. Take a reset if you need to. Find your depth in your seat. Heels just lifted 1 inch this time off the ground. And change. Inhale everything up. Exhale all together. Feet together, arms down. Just take a breath here. Okay, on your next inhale, we're going to move into eagle. So inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, right arm under left. Give yourself a little hug here. I like to rock it out from side to side a few times. So you can stay right here with your arms just crossed one over the other. Left arm on top, right arm bottom. If you want to keep going, wrap those arms together like ropes, crossing first to the elbows, forearms, the wrist and hands. You can inhale, elbows up a bit. Find an opening in your shoulders. And then exhale, tuck those elbows back and down your midline as you sit back in your chair. Now we're going to work on balance. So with everything, visualize everything running down one center line of your body. Inhale, right knee up as high as you can get it. I like to tap it on the elbow. Get it as high as you can, and then you cross the right leg over the left. Squeeze the inner thighs together again. Sit back deeper in your chair. That'll help your balance. And imagine your knees in one line under your elbows, which are under your fingertips. Hips are square to the front. If you lift the chest and sit back deeper, it helps with the balance. I'm also using my toes as a kickstand, my right toes, but I do want to try to lift those up and find some balance here in eagle. Breathe here, one more round of breath. Change, let that go. Inhale the arms up. I usually walk the feet out just a bit. Exhale, this time left arm goes under right. Give yourself that same hug on this side. Give it a twist out if you need to, and then stay right here Or take those arms and wrap them together, really pressing in, elbows, forearms, wrist. Everything can come up for a moment, feel that opening in your shoulders, feels really good. But then you pull it back and down and in for the Bikram eagle. Down and in, elbows towards the midsection, maybe even the fingertips come close to your nose. And as you sit back with a straight spine, you're gonna lift that left knee, tap it on the elbow. Want to get it as high as possible before crossing it over, squeezing inner thighs together. Sit back in the chair, chest lifts, and work on that balance as your knees are lined up under your elbows, hips, shoulders square to the front. Sit back with chest lifted. Eagle on the right leg here. And change, let it go. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. And here's our first water break. It's party time, so take a drink of water now, if you have one near you, before we move into the next set of poses. And as has been my habit, or the pattern I've seen, I'm definitely a little less balanced on Monday morning. So this gap between Monday and Friday is kind of the longest I go right now without doing the yoga practice. I usually take it off on the weekends, and it shows up on Monday when my balance is wobbly. Okay, so we're headed into standing head to knee. Find this comfortable, strong mountain pose, otherwise known as Tadasana. Have palms facing out towards the front, pull the belly in, take a breath here. And on the next inhale, bring the right knee up, and you can stay right here, just balancing on the left leg with the right knee lifted and strong, right here. You can flex the ankles around, play with that right foot being up. If you want to take it further, you can stay right here or take it further by inhaling out of the waist. Create a little space for you to pull the belly in and come down, upper body over right leg. Hang right here, drop the shoulders away from the ears. Find something to have a steady gaze on, and whatever you're hanging on to here with your hands on your calf or ankle or foot, or if you want to back it off a bit and just hang on to that thigh, just don't hang on to the knee. Find a grip and balance here. I want to keep going. Inhale yourself up about 2 inches and slide that heel in front of you like you're sliding it across the table. Flex the toes back towards your face. Left leg is strong, belly pulled in. Change. Come out of it with a lot of control as much as possible. Drop the right foot. Now we're going to stand strong on the right foot. Find your breath here. Nice strong Tadasana start, and then inhale the left knee up. And again, stay right here. Move that foot around. Get a feel for your ankle mobility. Stretch it out if you need to, and stay right here. Or come with me as we inhale. Find some length out of the waist. Pull the belly in and exhale over the lifted left leg. So find the grip here, whether that's along the calf, ankle, fits to the foot. Try basket weave grip. Drop those shoulders away from the ear. Find something to focus on. If you want to take it further still, we'll inhale about 2 inches up. Exhale, kick that left foot out. Heel like it's sliding across the table in front of you. Flex the toes back towards your face. Breathe here. Pull the belly in. And change. Come on out of that. Let that go. Let's inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, drop them to your side. And we move into dancer. Standing bow or dancer's pose. So I'm going to turn to the side here. You can too if it helps with your focus especially. So standing strong on the left leg. I'm going to drop the right arm to my side and open up the hip here by swinging my knee a bit forward and back. When I swing it back, that glute should be turned on And that'll really help prepare me for this posture. Standing strong on the left leg, swing that foot back, receive it in that open palm. And now with that same backward motion with the knee, the glute turns on. Help with balance here by lifting the left arm up. Strong, steady gaze. As I lift, kick my right foot into my right hand. Kick, kick, kick. Create tension and a lift that propels my upper body down. Try to keep the hips square. Find your soft edge and just hold it. And change when you're ready. Come on out of it with as much grace as you can muster. It's not a lot sometimes for me. And we'll move to the other side. So now we're going to stand strong on the right leg. Drop the left arm to your side, palm out. And then I, again, bring the knee back and forth just a bit. Knee up here, knee back. That turns on my glute. So I'm ready to go when it's time to receive that foot in my hand. Strong on the right leg. To help with balance, inhale, right arm up by your head. Left leg now. Back and forth a bit. And just make sure you try to keep hips square as you kick that left foot into your left hand. And find your dancer. This is an opening in the front of the left hip, the psoas, and a contraction in the glute. If you get wobbly, just back off of it a bit. No pressure to reach any certain point, and it's going to be different from side to side. And change. Come on out. Bring that hand down to your side and come all the way to the back of your mat for balancing stick. So with feet together, back of the mat, inhale, arms up. Let me move my mat just a bit away from the wall. Make sure I'm still on the screen there, yeah. Okay. So inhale, arms up for balancing stick. On an exhale, step forward with the left foot. Plant it strong down in front of you. Betty is so curious right now about everything going on. And so here high on your right toes, you can stay right here with arms overhead and your steeple grip. Belly pulled in and strong. Left toes or right toes back behind you and lift it a bit. Stay right here or begin to lift that back foot. And as you lift the foot and try to bring the ankle up on a plane with your butt, and you may not, it may take a while before you're there, but that's where you're headed. You bring the lower body down like a pendulum. As that back foot lifts, the lower body lowers. Or I'm sorry, the back foot lifts and the upper body lowers. And when you reach what you think is the shape of a capital T with your body, pull those fingertips apart from your flexed back toes, pull it apart, and change. Step back to the back of the mat, then step forward on the right foot this time. Switch your grip with your hands, change it up. Keep the biceps strong by the ears, pull the belly in. Now I'm gonna come up high on my left toes so I can stay right here. Feel this stretch or begin to lift the toes off the mat, and remember as you bring that heel up to come into line with your butt, the upper body lowers down, and that's where you get the shape of that T. Ooh, if you fall out of it, back off and just figure out where you are today on this side. Might be different from the last. When you get to your peak of lift, stretch those fingertips and toes apart from one another. And change. Step to the back of the mat one more time. Exhale, arms down. Here's another great spot to take a water break. Water break here. That last posture can really make the shoulders kind of tense. So if you need to, just give yourself shoulder roll, go one direction and then go the other. You can bring the shoulders forward too, but end on a back roll. And it ends with those shoulder blades sliding down your back. And that helps distribute that weight, like I talked about at the very beginning, over the heels and over the hips. Okay, onto a stretch I really need today, especially. We're gonna do separate leg forward fold. So come over to the top of your mat. We're gonna inhale, arms up with feet together at the top of the mat. On an exhale, step your feet apart. So you're kind of taking up the middle of the mat. Have about one of your leg lengths between your feet. Arms out to a T. Pull the belly in. As you pull the belly in, swan dive forward with your chest, and that'll send your booty back, like trying to press your booty back against the wall behind you, if you have a wall behind you. And stay right here in this halfway fold. Stay here for a minute and keep that belly in strong. Relax the head and neck. I do this when I want to relax my neck. I shake my head no to make sure my neck is loose. So I'm going to just bend one knee at a time and just go back and forth here a bit in this halfway point. And if it's comfortable to stay halfway, stay halfway. You can use the blocks here too and just stay right here. If you want to keep going, micro bend in the knees. Really concentrate on pushing that booty back towards the back wall as your chest comes down to the floor first. When you've reached your point of fold there, let the head and neck go last and hang. And you can bend the knees again if you want, if that feels good. Booty back, belly in, head and neck relaxed. And then just find a bind if you'd like with your hands along the outside of your legs, either down your thighs, calves, ankles, or even around the outside blade of the feet. Just something you can pull on to pull your chest down while keeping the shoulders relaxed away from the ears. So you can use your arms to pull your chest, but keep shoulders relaxed. And now your booty, which has been going back, is going to start to tilt up towards the ceiling. Head and neck relax. So find the depth of your fold and just breathe. And change, release your hands, come up halfway first. And this halfway point really helps turn the core on as we lift the arms to that T and inhale everything up, all together to the front of the mat in one step. Exhale, arms to the side. Let's move right into our triangle. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, step the feet out again, just like we were. This time, spin on that right heel, bend the right knee so that knee is stacked over ankle. And now we've got one hip open, the right hip open. The left hip is still square to the front. Take your hand, your left hand if you want, and put it along the outside of that hip and just encourage it to lower down. That'll widen your stance a bit for this triangle. So find some strength in your legs. Squeeze your inner thighs together like you're squeezing a big beach ball between your legs, and then tilt the arms at 6 and 12 and begin to relax that lower body down still as you coax open your right knee with your right elbow. Finally, if you want, if it feels comfortable on your neck, you can turn to look up at that lifted left hand. Left arm lifts as the left side body still lowers down. And just take a breath. Change. Inhale, come up. Arms to the T. Turn the right toes in. Turn the left toes out. Like I always say, every side's different. So as you begin to bend the knee to find your stance on this side, don't expect it to go right where it was on the other. Make the adjustments you need to. So bend that knee. Arms are up to a T. Again, I like to take my right hand or the hand of the straight leg and just remind the outside of my hips to sink down And that brings my knee down even lower on the left side. So stay here. You can turn the hands at 6 and 12. You can lower down along the left leg with the left arm. And finally, if it's comfortable, turn and look the right raised fingertips. So lift that arm up, but don't let your side body come up with it. Lower the side body down and like it's stretching apart from the right arm. Turn and look. Take a breath and change. Inhale, arms up and everything together at the front. Exhale, arms to your side. Let's move to standing separate leg, head to knee. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, step the right foot out. Now you're going to take a less wide stance. Your feet are less far apart, closer together than they were on those last two postures. Inhale your arms up to prayer hands. So make prayer with your hands cross one thumb over the other. And now turn everything over to the side wall so that you're square to the side with every part of your body but your back foot. Back foot, look down at it. It should be about 45-degree angle, toes pointing away to the outside of the mat. Micro bend the front knee and go ahead and begin to dive over that front leg with your prayer hands together. Biceps strong by the ears and come on down. Rest the blade of your pinkies on the mat, or you can separate hands if you need a little more help with balance. Pull the belly button in. That will really create a stretch in that front hamstring. Finally, head to knee. You can get there by tucking the chin towards the chest and bend the front knee as much as you need to get your forehead to the knee. And the more you straighten that front leg, the more you feel a hamstring stretch. Change, inhale, bring everything up, turn everything over to the other side now. Left leg is in front, everything square in front of you except for that back right foot. Look down at it, 45-degree angle there. Switch the cross of your thumbs and your prayer hands. Micro bend that left knee, and now we begin to dive over the left leg. Think of the blades of the pinkies coming down to the mat. Bend that front knee as much as you need to. I need to bend it a little more on this side. I'm not as flexible in this leg. And then just breathe. Separate the hands if you need to on either side of the foot. Otherwise, keep those prayer hands, the blade of the pinkies pressed to the mat. Finally, practice that forehead to knee if you want by tucking the chin. Bend the knee as much as you need to get your forehead and knee together. And change. Inhale everything up together to the top of the mat with that one inhale, and then exhale, arms down. Let's move into tree. I'm going to take a quick water break, and then we will move into tree, our last standing posture before we hit the floor. Okay, let's come to the middle of the mat, face the front, and we'll start standing on the left leg. Just bring those right toes up a bit. Prepare on the left leg, windshield wiper the knees open to create an opening in the hips. And high on those right toes, this can show you, right here can be where your tree is if you want to keep the toes down and just relax that right heel against the left ankle. Otherwise, bring the foot up to a point that works for you, except for the knee. Don't press the sole of the right foot into the knee. But otherwise, find a spot along your leg, press the sole of the foot into the standing leg, and just find your tree. You can stay here with hands at heart center, grow some branches if you want. If you want to work on the Bikram tree, catch that right foot in your left hand and bring it up to the hip crease. And then In the Bikram tree right here, once you've got the foot up to the hip crease, just let gravity gently bring that knee down. Don't force it. So find your tree, and we'll take a quiet breath here. Great, let's let that go. Gently let go of the right leg, give it a shake out if you need to. And now we switch and stand strong on that right leg. Bring the toes up high on the left. You can rest that ankle against the heel against the ankle. Windshield wiper a bit here to open the hips. And then find your tree on this side. Just work on bringing that sole of your foot slowly up your leg, bypassing the knee until you find the spot that works for you. And again, play with your arm positioning if you want. Play with the Bikram tree if you want. If you have your heel all the way high up on your inner thigh, you're ready to move in and catch it with your right hand. Maybe I am today, maybe I'm not. I'm having balance issues. And we'll take a quiet moment. Okay, let's let that go. Swing your left leg out, walk things out, and then take a drink of water if you need to. Otherwise, lie down on your back for Shavasana. We're going to stay in a quick Shavasana before we move into the floor postures. So just relax, take a breath, nice deep breath here. And I really encourage you to feel where your back body, so that's your heels, back your hips, your shoulder blades, where all of those parts of yourself and of your back body, and even the back of your head there, where that's connecting on the mat. This is the way we want to be stacked over our feet when we're standing. So just notice all the spots where you're connecting on the mat in your back body, and just think about next time you're standing that you're aligned that way with the weight. This is why I talk about the weight being distributed mainly over the heels. Okay, so one more breath here in Shavasana. Nice deep breath. Really feel your chest lift and then sink on an exhale. On the next inhale, bring the right knee up for wind removing pose, right side. Right knee comes up to your chest. Grab hold of that shin with your arms and bring the knee, start to encourage the knee to come down past your ribs towards your armpit. Pull, pull, pull on that right side, and then flex the left leg. So flex the foot and leg like it's standing strong on the left foot. Right foot comes in, pull, change, drop the right leg down, lift the left knee up this time and find that grip around your shin. On the left, bring it in towards the side now, towards the armpit, along the side ribs. Pull, pull, pull that left leg. Flex the right leg now like it's standing. Feel that pulling apart between the left hip and the right. Change, let the left leg come down. Inhale both knees up this time. You can rock a bit from side to side. Give your little spine a massage. Give your spine a little massage. And end with those, in that massage there with knees really coming towards the chest. Pull hard with your hands, knees towards the chest. And think of a lot of weight heavy on your spine as you try to straighten it out. Spine straight against the mat. Tuck the chin down towards the chest here. Pull in on the knees. Change. Let those legs come down into Shavasana. lie down, take a nice deep breath, palms relaxed and facing up towards the ceiling. And we're going to move into a yoga sit-up. Skip this if you have back problems or just don't enjoy the sit-up. Otherwise, inhale, arms overhead with me. Hook your thumbs together. 2 audible exhales. Sit up. Grab your toes and then turn around, come over onto your belly for cobra. So on your belly here, rest your chin down on the mat. Plant your hands under your shoulders. Spread those fingertips wide. Zip up your cobra tail from your ankles, up your calves, all the way up the inner thighs. And then finally, just remember to pull those elbows in towards one another. Exhale all the breath out. Inhale, begin to slowly peel up, lift your chest off the mat. Use your lower back strength to lift the chest. Steady gaze straight in front of you. Lift a little higher. Really turn on your cobra tail. Activate your legs, squeeze everything together, and change. Drop down, left cheek to the mat for belly down Shavasana. Just relax here. Take a nice deep breath again, fill your chest. Really fill up with air on the inhale and then completely sink and collapse on the exhale. Now let's move into half locust. So flip the palms. They've gone from the ceiling. Now you flip them towards the ground so that their palms are down on the mat. Rock the hips side to side to scoot your fingers under your hips. Hands under hips. Turn your chin and keep your chin on the mat to protect the neck here. Inhale, right leg up. Imagine someone pulling on that leg behind you to lengthen it from the hip, and then inhale it up a little further. Keep the right toes flexed there or pointed. Change. Right leg down, left leg up. And again, imagine someone just pulling that leg behind you to find length, lift, a little higher. Breathe here. Drop the left leg. Now we're going to go both legs up, but prepare first by going from your chin down to your mat to your mouth to protect the neck, and then scoot the fingers down towards your knees as much as you can and really press into the mat as you lift both legs up. Keep them strong and pointed. Change. Let those legs drop. Let the arms loose. That was a lot of work on the arms, and turn right cheek on the mat, belly down Shavasana. Breathe here. Let's move into full locust. So arms out to the side like airplane wings. Arms coming up past the shoulders. Zip up that cobra tail. Take a breath here. Exhale all the air out. Chin is on the mat. And on the inhale, lift everything off the mat but the hips, like you're 747 taking off. So lift the chest, lift the legs, breathe here. Be able to hold this posture while breathing. So if you need to back off, back off. But an inhale, lifts everything. And an exhale, just feel those hips sink into the mat and change. Drop the hands, lay left cheek down on the mat for belly down Shavasana. Nice deep breath here. And we've really warmed up the spine with those previous postures for floor bow. So for floor bow, bend at the knees, bring the heels towards the butt, and lift at the chest. Take a moment to set in this foundation. And if you are not to a point yet where you can reach back and grab your feet, just stay lifted here and work on this flexibility. Otherwise, find the back of your feet with your hands around the sides of your feet. Bring knees together. And if you kick back in your hands, that'll lift your chest up. Roll the shoulders back and away from your ears. Now exhale here, let all the breath out. Inhale, really give a kick into those hands with your feet, and that will lift you up off the mat. Roll a bit back and forth on your belly. Think of making the shape of a teardrop. So you're going to lift coming from the ceiling with that connection between your hands and feet. And change. Drop the legs gently, let go of the grip with the hands and go down onto your right cheek for belly down Shavasana. Okay, let's move into a yoga sit-up. Plant the hands under your shoulders again. Tuck the toes, flip the toes over, or stay on your knees if you need to for a push-up. And we'll inhale, push up into high plank here. Just hold plank just for a minute to really feel that strength. And then drop the knees, walk them forward for fixed fern. So fixed fern here, we're gonna bring knees together at the top of the mat, hips stacked over knees, and then just begin to sit back into the space you create by bringing your heels apart. Sit back down between your heels. If you need to take a block to find some connection between your tailbone and the mat, sit back on a block or a blanket or pillow. Just keep your spine straight here and sit comfortably. You can open up the space between your knees as much as you need to. And just find a comfortable position. Just take a breath here. You can go back further onto elbows or even all the way onto your back if you want. Feel a nice opening and pressure on the front top of your feet there. And we'll come on out of that by just gently lifting up and over your feet and then lie down on your back for Shavasana. Take a nice deep breath here. Inhale, arms overhead for sit up. Exhale, sit up. Come around and touch your toes in a sit up if you want. I like to rock my hips back and tilt the pelvis there for a nice hamstring stretch after every sit up. Now we'll move to the back of the mat for half tortoise. So come back to the back of your mat, just sit on your heels, knees together. Inhale, arms overhead. Make that prayer grip with your hands again, so one thumb crosses over the other. Belly pulled in, even with arms overhead, shoulders relaxed from the ears. Begin to fold over your legs. Try to think of getting your forehead, nose to the mat before the blades of your pinkies to really open up at the armpits. And when your hands do reach the mat, blades of your pinkies, one thumb is still crossed over the other into the mat. It really opens the armpits. Really great warm up for down dogs. Take a nice deep breath here. And on an inhale, lift yourself back up. Core strength all the way. Let the arms fall to the side and turn around on your back for Shavasana. Nice deep breath in Shavasana here. Feel the chest lift and expand, the air coming through all the way deep into the belly. And exhale, all that air is pushed out. And you can collapse in the chest and belly. Inhale, arms overhead for a yoga sit-up. Exhale, sit up. Come around to the front for So for camel here, you're facing the side at the top of your mat. I'll go ahead and face straight on today, just for a change of angle so you can see what I'm doing. The knees are stacked right under hips. So knees are hip width apart and your feet are straight down from your knees. So everything's on a 90-degree straight angle. I like to take a block and put it between my inner thighs and squeeze those inner thighs together and hold the block there. If you don't have a block, just imagine the same effect happening. So turn on the inner thighs. That really keeps the hips stable and helps stabilize the knees. Tuck your hands in your back yoga pockets. Bring those elbows together behind you like there's a wire bringing them, pulling them together. Inhale, lift the chest. Lift the gaze up towards the ceiling. Exhale, push the hips towards the front. Inhale, lift the chest. So we're really trying to keep the hips still stacked over the knees. Push, push, push those hips forward as we lift the chest. And if it's comfortable on your head and neck, you can let your head drop behind you. Look behind you. Push those hips forward. Final expression is to drop your hands and reach back, find your heels with your fingertips. If that really brings your spine into a more crunch position or brings your hips from being over your knees, then back off of that a bit. Change, slowly come up. Use your core strength to bring you up. Keeps you from getting too lightheaded. Take that walk out and turn around, lay down on your back for Shavasana. Nice deep breath here. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, sit up. Come around to the back of your mat for rabbit. So once more, sitting on your heels at the back of your mat. Bring your hands down, just connect with your feet here. Look straight ahead. Inhale, lift the chest, find a straight spine with belly pulled in. Exhale and just tuck the chin towards the chest. As you exhale that air out, your belly button goes back towards your spine. This is rounding the spine all the way down. Graze your knees with your forehead and think of the crown of your head meeting the ground there as you grip onto your heels with your hands. This is a complete tucking inward in the front and rounding the spine in the back. Grip those heels with your hands and lift the hips towards the ceiling. Belly button in and change. Come on out of that. Your chin is the last to go. Your last thing to come out is lifting that chin and then turn around, lay down for Shavasana. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, sit up. Touch the toes. And we'll come to the center of the mat, just sitting evenly on the sit bones for seated separate leg stretching. So right leg out first. Maybe think of bringing that heel towards the corner of your mat. Left leg is tucked in. You can have it at whatever angle feels comfortable, but just bend at the knee, tuck that in. Feel yourself sitting evenly on your sit bones with the right leg out. Inhale, find length and lift here, and on an exhale, twist. Really visualize that air leaving your body as you twist over the right leg. Fold over, lead with your chest, and you can bend that right knee as much as you need to. Feel this nice hamstring stretch here on your right. Just find your breath. Let the head and neck go if it's comfortable at any point. Change, come on up over that leg, bend with the right knee, bring the left leg out. Notice the difference if the sides feel different from one another. Sit evenly on your sit bones here. Inhale, find the length. Exhale, that air comes out as you twist and then fold over your left leg. I'm gonna really need to bend to my left knee here. This is the tighter side, and I am just generally tighter after a run yesterday. So make those adjustments. It's gonna be different every time, and don't worry about it or judge yourself if you're not at the place that you expect it to be. And celebrate if you're further than where you thought you'd be. Just know it's always different. Always new. Okay, come on out of that, and we'll have both legs, bring both legs out straight in front of us. Flex the toes here. Stay right here. This is a great hamstring opener, just sitting with legs in front of you. Toes flexed. Find the lift of your chest while keeping the shoulders dropped away. And then if you want to fold over, bend the knees a bit, bring your chest down. And you can grab on, let your hands just relax comfortably on your shins. Come over to your toes. And find the stretch there. This is really similar to a forward fold that we do at the beginning of class. We're just not standing this time. Let the head and neck go last. And each breath that you hold it longer, you may be able to straighten your legs more and more. If you've had to start with knees, if you start with knees really bent, the longer you hold it, the more you might be able to walk them out and straighten those legs. Okay, inhale, come up. Let's move into final spinal. So with the right leg, cross it over the left, lift and cross, right leg over left, and really notice that right foot pressing into the mat. That will create an opening all the way over to the right side hip, pressing the foot into the mat. You can leave this left leg straight underneath you, or if it feels comfortable, bend the knee, tuck it under you. Find square sitting on your sit bones. Inhale, find lift. Exhale, twist towards the right, looking over that bent right knee. And just find a twist. You're leading with your belly button rather than pushing it with your head or neck. Change, we'll come out of that and move on to the other side. So just change the cross of your legs. You might start with that bottom leg straight, left foot planted into the mat. Feel that opening on your left hip. If you want to cross the bottom or bend the knee at the bottom leg, tuck it underneath, go ahead. Inhale, find length, lift, feel yourself planted evenly. Exhale, twist. Lead with the belly button. Bring it around. Let your head and neck follow. And change. Unwrap there. Let everything go. Take a drink of water if you want. A little sip of water before we move into breath of fire. So for breath of fire here, it can be helpful to take a few practice rounds with your hands on your belly. Just feel that snapping in of the belly as you exhale the air out. Practice a few times there. Eventually land in a spot where your hands rest comfortably so the shoulders are away from the ears. If you're tipped forward a bit, be mindful that you kind of bring that weight back so you really get used to the feeling of the weight being distributed through your back body with shoulders broad, belly in. We'll inhale here to prepare together. So take a nice big inhale. Exhale everything out. Let it all go. Inhale halfway and begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let all the air go. We are done. That was 26 postures in 1 hour. Beautiful job. Lie down on your back, please, for Shavasana. Just 2 minutes of Shavasana. I'll keep track for you so you don't even have to pay attention to time. Take these 2 minutes. Take longer if you can, but take at least the 2 minutes to seal your practice, bookend it, and just let mind and body integrate everything that you've just done. It's a beautiful way to end the practice, and I think the most important posture. So just lie down, get comfortable. We all have places and things we need to do when we're done, but let's let it go right now. And just really have 2 more minutes of time where you're in this moment, completely relaxed, Deep breaths calm the nervous system. And just let it go. Eyes are closed, so we turn off at least one of our senses by closing the eyes, but you can still hear what's going on around you, feel that temperature in the air. Maybe you can smell something being cooked or something that has been, whatever it is. Just notice all those things. And if any of those trigger something in the mind to start thinking about what's to come or what's been, notice that too. And without any sort of judgment, just take note of it and then gently ask your mind to come right back here into the present moment. It goes so quickly, but our 2 minutes are up already. So feel free to stay in the Shavasana, and if you are ready to come out with me and move on, just blink open the eyes and make whatever movements you need to kind of transition smoothly from that complete state of, what would the word be that I'm looking for? Surrender, into something a little more active. So I like to bring the knees to the chest, rock side to side. You can roll over completely onto one side and just stay in fetal position for a moment with your head resting on your arm. Or come straight up if you'd like. Way, no matter how you do it, come meet me in a seated position. Oh, thank you for joining me this Monday morning, middle of June. We're coming up on the summer solstice, June 21st. I think it's my favorite day of the year. It's going fast. It's a weird time right now, really, because with the shelter in place and everything closed down, the days are really blurring together and in some ways feel drawn out, but at the same time, with no real marker happening between one another, it's flying by. So the moments that we take, like we did just now, sort of calm the system, really take in everything around us. It's a great practice and a great way to kind of get a little more handle on everything that's swirling by. So thank you for joining me in that. Take care of yourself, take care of one another. I'll see you back here on Wednesday for the same practice. And I will close with a namaste. The light student and teacher in me sees, acknowledges, honors the light student and teacher in each and every one of you. Namaste. Happy Monday. Hope you all have a great week. Thank you so much, Erin, everyone over there in Chicago. I'll see you Wednesday. Bye.